The new Forsaken update is absolute bullshit. Okay, I know I may have been a little rude over there, but honestly, it deserves it. Azure is probably the worst killer Forsaken has ever seen, and I would say it's the only C-tier killer we have. You see, I usually rely on two different people for my balancing tips, Craft and Mekill. But I think these two idiots are brain dead right now because they do not understand how weak Azure is. Also, a weird bug happened here where I couldn't see my stamina and health, which was annoying. Also, one thing about Azure is how weak he is at actually aiming is in Strangle. Because if you're playing on mobile, it is miserable. Even on other devices, it's hard. Another reason why I hate the Azure update is them moving the buttons. Come on, the buttons are fine, and then they just moved it. Oh my god. Also, you may have noticed my speech is a little weird here. And trust me, a few hours of crying, and I'm here. I was actually supposed to release a video of me winning with every Azure skin. But because Azure is so bullshit, it's actually taking way longer than I expected. The gameplay over here is multiple rounds of me trying to win with the exact same skin and losing. Azure sucks against pro teams, and his biggest issue, generators. You see, while other killers can actually get kills pretty quickly, out of every killer, Azure is the most bullshit at actually getting kills, with all of his attacks barely doing anything. He is actually by far useless on most maps. And people say like, oh, Azure is the best killer. He is not. Even the only other kind of zoner trapper killer, John Doe, is way better. John Doe can easily get fast kills with his dangerous M1 and spike sniping. You know what techs Azure has? Pretty much nothing. Like, you got pretty much nothing here. Azure actually sucks. And there's not much the developers can do about it. Because there's little YouTubers and the community whining that he's too overpowered. His golem form takes way too long to get, and its wind-up is too big. So by the point you actually get it, yeah, it's pretty much useless. Its wind-up is also stupidly long, so you pretty much just instantly lose a chase if you use it. But if you use it before you enter a chase, that's majority of the golem state already used up. Congrats. It actually sucks extremely hard. Yeah. I can't even amount to this. Azure's abilities all individually deal weak damage, and the golem state is also not better either. All of the golem's abilities can easily be juked by any amount of pro players. These people easily getting server wipes as Azure aren't good. They're playing in servers where everybody's a noob. If you go with Azure against any semi-competent team, oh my god, they will smoke you so hard. I can't even tell you how bad Azure actually is against pro lobbies. If you're going in a lobby where everyone at least has like 10 or more days of playtime, you ain't winning that shit. You're dead. Like, it's just so crappy. There's nothing you can do. It actually sucks. The stun duration thing didn't help either. It's honestly only made stuns more insufferable than ever. Now, apart from Azure, 2-time is also bullshit. They completely butchered 2-time, and it's all due to this one idiot named Malcora. Now, Malcora is known for probably being the sweatiest 2-time alive. So sweaty that they're level 550 last time I checked, and they're probably 600 about now. And Malcora makes videos where he lands crazy trick stabs. But one of his long form videos has also stated like a few different things and stuff like that, yada yada yada. But it basically proposes a possible rework for 2-time. You know what the developers did for rework on 2-time? They copied everything Malcora said one for one. And they removed trick stabbing. Yep, trick stabbing. The one thing everyone relies on is now gone. Yes, you hear that. It's gone. You cannot know the amount of hate I have for this stupid person for actually proposing such a dumb rework. Getting rid of trick stabs means 2-time is completely useless mid-chase. His new hitbox without the lunge of crouch is actually horrible. You cannot tell me that it is even decently good anymore. Prey is just a lose-lose situation. Like, seriously. The fact is, 2-time, it wasn't even bad. He was actually in a very balanced state before. It's just because some idiots just don't like getting trick stabbed and say that he is unbalanced and unfair, when in reality, he's actually much more fair than people think. My next thing, map design. Okay, this I'd actually say the developers did well. Looping has been a non-existent issue. I seriously don't understand why. You're not an everyday player who's going in tournaments against sweaty-ass players who live in their mom's basements just to play Forsaken. No, we're talking about the average public lobby. Nobody uses looping that much. I'm closing in on 20 days, and looping has been a non-existent issue for me. Anybody who uses looping just dies. The best way to counter any killer is just straight running. And back to Azure, running counters him the most. Like, seriously, just maintain your distance against Azure. There's nothing he can do. Like, seriously, nothing. Now, of course, I don't want to go over this video with me complaining and adding no solutions. So, I suggest a possible new ability or reworking one of Azure's abilities. Now, 1, the generator problem. The first solution, give him a 6th ability. Maybe this ability is only in Golem form or something like that. Or maybe Golem form just becomes a passive. I'm not really sure what the layout will be here. And it's a bit confusing having 6 abilities. But hear me out on this one. I'm going to call this ability Vine Swarm. Or maybe Vine Lock. We'll call it Vine Lock for now. If Azure is close enough to a generator, you can use this ability to lock a generator with vines. And in case this happens to a generator and it's already been partially completed, the moment you unlock it, all the already achieved stuff from the generator will stay. You also get XP and Malice for cutting this stuff. Now the way you do that is you get a new item, shears around the map. Now shears aren't going to take up the place of normal items, but will instead have their own separate spots. There will only be 1 shear for every 2 generators that Azure will use vines on. Of course, there will automatically be 1 spawning at the start of the round, and then more and more come. What this will do is to force people to not just spam generators and maybe help the team, stuff like that. I don't know, really. This makes it so Azure's, timer is not purposely staying at a minute for years and years. I think this is a good ability. An alternative, if we don't want a 6th ability, is probably adding an addition to the flower turret thing. What is the name? I don't care and I don't know. Basically, if you click this ability, you place down a flower turret, but I have an alternative for this ability. What if, instead of that, you can hold this ability, which will grant a longer set cooldown, and, also the longer set cooldown, but you instead manually shoot out stronger bullets temporarily. This does heavily slow you down. I think this is actually pretty good, as it provides in-chase tools. The one thing every killer is kind of supposed to have. Well, also, I forgot to say what the cooldown for the earlier ability was. It would be 30 seconds, and this would probably sit at a nice 28. What do you think of these new additions? Of course, new abilities aren't coming with pre-existing nerfs. Starting off, the flower turret radius is going to drop by, I don't know, a bit. I always see flower turrets, targeting people from extremely far away. So we should nerf that a bit. Also, flower turrets should only punish the people who were the ones who, messed up the minigame or stuff like that. Not random people who are walking by. Now, what do you think of this? I know I've said it before, I'm going to say it again. But honestly, Azure is the worst killer in Forsaken. Every killer is actually really decent, but not Azure. My final thing I'm going to rant about right now is the skin situation. Now, there's been a huge skin complaints that there's so much skin clutter that it's just messing up the shop. And people want to remove it, which is why in the Azure update, a handful of unpopular skins are now getting removed from the game. Okay, I guess? I don't really know my opinions on this. Well, yes, there's a lot of, options for skins. I actually like a lot of options and a lot of variety. It allows people to choose whatever they want. Plus, I feel like there's some skins that should stick with no custom animations. As the Forsaken have said that some of these skins are returning but with custom animations. But I feel like that's going to upraise the cost by a lot. I feel like the Forsaken devs should just add a lot of cheap skins, maybe with custom animations, maybe with not for new players, as this is an ongoing problem. Now, either way, I'm not really sure what to say after this, as I'm in a really bad mood today. And I'm probably not going to upload another video for a while. Maybe I'll make a guide video for Azure soon. But honestly, as I'm almost milestone 2 on Azure, I've realized how horrible and horrendous he is to play. If you're playing Azure for fun, please don't. Maybe play him for an update, a video, something like that. But after that, don't play him. He's utter garbage. And you should instead play a much better killer in terms of balancing, like Nosferatu or 1x. I'm also going to go over in a separate video why 1x is actually the most balanced killer in Forsaken, yet nobody believes it. Now, either way, have a good day, maybe better than mine. See you later. Subscribe, please.